So talk kind of like adding to that, kind of what's been like kind of the best sort of advice you've been given over since you started 321?
Um, the best piece of advice I've been given. I think that's a really good question. I think a lot of the work I've done with 321, I've been quite independent with. And I think because I haven't had a mentor, I've kind of just been winging it as I go and
Mm,
kind of hoping for the best. So I don't think I've really sat down with many people who have kind of given me advice. I think people telling me that I need to sit and work on my ideas more has been really important, not rushing into
mm,
any idea that I have. There's a lot of people who you can tell have had an idea and like an hour later put it on social media, or they've done things really quickly, whereas I've always been told to kind of sit through things, and not everything has to be done straight away, and being organized, um,
mm,
and kind of been being thorough. I think that's been a piece of advice I've been given. um, I think advice I've been given has come from seeing people make mistakes, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm,
um, and seeing how people have done things and be like, right, I'm not doing it like that.
mm,
Like, and kind of giving myself the advice from looking on at other people. um which sounds like a really horrible thing to say, but I think there's definitely things that I've done that I look back on being like, you shouldn't have, like, I don't know, like, are you like, I made my first EPK I ever made. I looked back at it the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how anyone used that, I don't know. But um I think if I had kind of taken more time on it, or if I had um I don't know, if I had done a bit more research, then it would have been 10 times better. So
mm,
I think it's about um allowing yourself to make mistakes and looking back at things you've done, um, and through, trying really hard not to look at it and try to ignore it, looking at it being like, okay, where did this go wrong, or where could we have done better? So I think the advice that I've got has mainly come from myself, but I think any advice about organization, about not putting too much stress on yourself, that's another important piece of advice I've been given. I think looking at what you've achieved,
mm.
more on a regular basis, that's another piece of advice that I'm still working on. And kind of just taking that downtime,
Mm-hmm.
like we were saying earlier, about understanding that a day off isn't going to harm anyone.